歡迎嚟到 Tomb Raider Rise of Tomb Raider 嘅 DLC 卡芙特莊園。咁上集我就拍完呢一個探險隊㗎啦。咁我哋呢家嚟呢個血脈相連啦。部分嘅莊園入邊揾到個文獻同遺物都係完成故事一 part。哦，即係呢一個故事呢，就你一定要揾㗎啦，就唔同上一個故事咁樣，你唔揾都得冇。
Final notice to Lara Croft, current tenant of premises. This is to serve as your final notice for the purposes of terminating your ownership of Croft Manor. You are required to immediately vacate and surrender possession of said manor to Atlas de Mornay, executor of estates.
Lara, it is unfortunate that you have forced my hand in this matter, but so be it. As you know, your parents appointed me executor of the estate in the event of their absence. Since your mother disappeared, her death was never technically declared. And given the circumstances surrounding your father's death, it's no surprise that he never drafted a formal last will and testament to account for this circumstance. Unfortunately, you have no legal claims to the estate. I'm willing to negotiate a modest monthly stipend from your trust, but only if you leave the manor by week's end. Don't fight me on this, Lara. Your mother wouldn't want that. Sincerely, Atlas.
There has to be a will or some kind of evidence of what happened to Mum in the manor somewhere. Dad's safe. Needs a combination. It's got to be in Dad's papers somewhere. Maybe in the library. My birthday crown. I was so proud of that thing. That's my handwriting. My penmanship was...
唔識英文，睇唔明。
Well, this is a hell of a thing. I met someone tonight quite unexpectedly. But it shouldn't have been, it seems. I've been so buried in my work, so distracted by my latest revelations, I never bothered to notice my...
My parents
made a good team, challenging each other from the start.
傾得好開心，跟住就墮入愛河。
Dad would like me to go to Oxford, but I insisted on UCL. Yep, looks real. Roth once offered to forge me a fake
divorce。要幫佢偽造。Roth 係邊個啊？羅斯係 Tomb Raider 第一代係啦。你睇翻我拍到嘅，嗰個死咗㗎啦，你放心啦，揾唔翻嘅條友，死咗啦，冇啊！嗰代死都死幾多人嗰代。
A picture with Dad and Anna. Never liked wearing dresses, but the colour was nice.
老豆同 Anna 嘅相，仲有羅拉着裙嘅相，呢個邊個嚟
This is probably my grandfather Benjamin.
Benjamin， 你阿爺？你見過你阿爺後生咩？有相咩
One of Dad's Yoruba masks, a gift from a friend he met on an expedition in Nigeria.
奈及利亞啊，都〜 他幾多嘢嘅喎，你家族都。
I finally introduced Richard to the family. 媽嘅親筆。It went precisely how I imagined.
我幾乎可以諗到佢落過呢啲，即係希望記得佢把聲。
Indifference and disinterest from father, and thinly veiled contempt from Atlas. Of course they don't approve. To them, Lord Croft is the man who took away their.
It
must have been hard for Mum to go against her family's wishes.
佢老豆俾人話：呢條孫就好似溝我個女嘅咁樣，即係呢啲啦。唔知講呢啲嗰篇嘢就。
Dad's map of the forgotten cities of northern Syria. He was closer than he knew to finding the Prophet's tomb.
爭啲揾到先至知無代，羅拉一揾就揾到啦。哼！ 捷足先登啊，老豆。
Dad's book about immortality myths might be useful in my research.
不死傳說嘅一本書。咦係喎，佢呢個故事係喺完咗件事之前定完咗件事之後？佢冇講到個時間。
The door to the library. Dad's artifacts from the Nile Valley. I always loved looking at these. Dad became interested in immortality myths after his expeditions to
又
Egypt.
係呢啲聖甲蟲咁嘅嘢，每次去埃及一定有呢啲。
This is the map I made for my first expedition with Dad. It shows a path to the library through the servants' path.
屋企去哦。
Wait, I can get to the library through the old servants' corridor.
哦，唔怪之佢話要睇文獻啦。即係呢個位要去，但係前面好多嘢睇喎。呢個 DLC，呢個 DLC 係睇文件嘅喎。呢個 DLC 我發覺係睇羅拉嘅過去。
Hi, Dad. I've been thinking about Mum lately. I wish I knew more about her. How did you meet? What was she like? Winston.
簡單啲嚟講就係羅拉唔知道佢阿媽啲嘢，就係想問佢老豆。咁羅拉老母去咗邊呢？
Lara, I've reviewed the report from your therapist. I have to say I was surprised to see a
我
clean
要亞
bill
特
of
拉
health.
斯你個舅父永
I
遠
somehow
躝出
doubt
我
you've
心
so easily abandoned your irrational claims. Indeed, where have you been?
所以其實佢老豆同埋係咪佢舅父啊？即係佢阿哥啊？佢係不和喎。
Well, hello there, Sir Lancelot. Don't worry, I won't be boring your sword this time.
所以其實佢係爭遺產喎，借啲
The
嘢。
Grand Hall. Always loved playing in here as a kid. This will be one of the first things to
可以
fix.
有幾大咧？呢個 DLC 佢又真係唔特登限死條路，又真係有咁多
The
嘢睇
Phoenix
喎。
figurine. I bet this appealed to Dad's idea of immortality.
鳳凰嗰啲，喂，點解你拎走埋嘅？呢係你屋企嚟嘅。點解你屋企要咁樣 block 住啊？勁奇怪，成個生化危機咁。
This belongs to Anna. Most of her belongings are in the guest house.
Sakina.
What was she doing in here? Someone has a sense of humor.
唔好再食煙啊！咩 love out？ 缺乏裝備哦，我之後要嚟喎，原來呢一個位。
Lara, you know the West Wing is off limits.
嚇死我真係！哇嚇到我啊！
What are you doing sitting there on the floor,
黐
Mistress Lara?
線冇黑。
Looking at the compass.
我哋
The
做
offer came in the post last week, and I still haven't told Richard. He flew ahead to Tibet, where I will meet him shortly. I never told him I was submitting my work.
哦，即係佢老母
Thinking.
想做畫
What
家。
about, if I may inquire?
Just thinking about discovering faraway places, about finding adventure.
Got to remember to pack this for my next trip.
手電筒，下個要拎。即係攞呢個應該係之後嘅話，呢個應該
Should be
係。
able to explore the dark now.
哦，唔係
Hey
呢一度
Jonah,
要咩？
sorry for not getting back to you sooner. I've decided to do some research at the manor. A lot has happened, and I need some time to think about what I want to do.
OK，總之佢話俾莊蘭知佢舅父唔想佢留喺度，即係呢個係發生完喺不老之泉之後嘅事嚟嘅呢
Lara, since your return from your expedition to Yamatai, I've grown increasingly alarmed at your erratic behavior. I can only assume you suffered some kind of psychological trauma and are only acting out as a call for help.
OK，總之佢依家佢舅父質疑佢同佢羅拉同佢老豆一樣都係黐咗線啦。Anna 都叫埋佢去睇，但係 Anna 擺到明係
Another
So
one of
Lola
Dad's
㗎啦。
immortality artifacts.
不
I
死古
think
物
Roth
羅
bought this
斯
for him from.
再去到希臘羅斯即係俄羅斯啦。電筒點樣開？但係佢自動開嘅又識，好似依家或者上一代咁。呢個有邊個啊？
Not sure. I really.
哦，佢自己都唔知好波。嘅話，自己祖先都唔知係邊個。
I'm sure you will, my lady. You've the soul of an explorer.
哇，係
But
咁
don't grow up too fast.
係咁轉顏色啊，好恐怖嘅驚。呢個暗門嚟嘅，呢個只係一個哦僕人通道，呢個似暗道多啲喎。
Amelia, The news has reached Mother. She knows that you broke off your engagement with the Earl of Farringdon. She is beside herself with worry. But, for the moment, she's controlling the narrative. As far as anyone knows, you're just having innocent second thoughts. But the moment your affair with Lord Croft goes public, it will be too late.
唔知邊個寫俾羅拉老母嘅一封信，就係話佢同一個總之都係有頭有面嘅人悔婚，跟住同佢老豆結婚咁嘛，影響家族聲譽。咁睇嚟羅拉個家族最大係佢老母嗰邊，佢老豆應該係啲窮人嚟。
Maybe I should just let my uncle have this place.
唔係真事啊！
They say a good test of a relationship is how well you travel together. Well, I'd say Amelia and I have passed that test with flying colours. Indeed, these last few months in Egypt have been nothing short of...
Okay.
I'm not surprised he asked her to marry him as soon as he got the idea.
咁總之就係佢老豆想直接求婚啦，見到佢老母咁捱得苦，又咁有錢，又咁有學識，又咁優秀。即係呢一 part 原本係我要揾到呢個電筒先嚟到嘅，不過我已經一早揾到。唔怪之佢 DLC 嗰個位話要揾文物啊，揾文獻嗰啲咧。
I know we have had our differences in recent years. I've tried my best to keep an open mind about your relationship with Richard, but I just can't let you go on this ill-conceived expedition without saying my piece. You say Richard...
總之佢舅父就勸佢老母唔好信佢老公講嘅嘢，即係羅拉老豆講嘅嘢。
Still just as creepy as I remember.
話佢老豆有問題，老鼠啫，不過係恐怖嘅，有啲咁嘅嘢，可以喐啊！唔得啦，開條路嘅，不過呢度有嘢睇。
My lord, I hope this missive finds you on a successful expedition and in good health. Before I bore you with estate affairs, I wanted to let you know that our little angel has been into some mischief. As always, I indulged her in our usual game of chess. Over the course of the game, she broached the subject of her mother. She's had...
Poor Winston. I remember being so angry. He was always so patient with me.
咁總之係搞啲惡作劇啊，搞
King to Queen 1. I'm going to win this time, Winston.
Clever girl. But you should know by now.
I would play chess with our old butler Winston on this board. Never could beat him.
咩睇啊？我總係揀白棋，或者俾佢行先，話唔定佢贏。
Once in a while, I might have.
Isn't everything? Queen to King's Bishop 6. Check.
即係羅拉未贏。
Easy for you to say. You always win. Knight takes queen.
What I mean to say is try to enjoy the journey, Lara.
I'm at a crossroads now. Good Lord, that's such a cliché. But there's truth in it. 2 roads before me. Both present joy and compromise. A life with Richard, adventure, intellectual pursuit, perhaps a new family. But also a man.
Rush to victory. Bishop to King 7. Everything is almost ready for Mistress Lara's birthday expedition surprise. It's been a bit of an all-hands-on-deck effort organizing the affair and keeping it secret. She's obsessed with Egypt, memorizing hieroglyphs.
好啊，總之幫羅拉整個生日要整個探險嘢出嚟。羅拉中意啲埃及嘢嘅，所以就俾佢一個驚喜。哇！有封信喺上面。要拉佢出嚟。先拉呢個。做咩啊？喂，唔係你做咩啊？你俾呢個箱棘住咗，你踢翻入去得唔得啊？哇！成功解謎啊！哇！呢個謎好難啊！哇！真係唔係我咁高智商，我解唔開真係可能。
Dad loved a good bottle of wine. I can.
咩波葉子咩酒？呢啲貴族先飲。
Dad, this is it. The basement of despair.
Indeed, Lara. Muster your courage, for this is the only path to the Library of Infinite Knowledge.
Look there! See the string?
An ancient Egyptian tripwire. The keepers of knowledge once nuns disturbed their treasures. We must tread carefully.
Let me lead. I know how to spot all the traps.
哇，羅拉
I'm
你
sure
都
you
幾
do,
誇
my
張
darling.
喎
Lead on.
你間屋個地下咁樣，浸晒水又爛又剩，屋企啲家私又劈到周圍都係。你都真係可能要俾間屋企管下。
My stuffed bear. I couldn't have a tomb without a mummy.
哦，寡衣熊有個八字喎，咩嚟？咁多啲八字喺度嘅？呢個睇得個咯喎。
One of the wire traps Winston made for my birthday expedition. Winston used my hair ribbons to make this. He and Dad put a lot of work into this birthday surprise.
用佢嘅髮帶整嘅。
Water damage from the main hall above.
都有嘢睇喎呢一邊，等陣先。哦，唔係，睇錯。咦？但係點解好似見到嗰個發光嘅？係喎，我冇睇錯係發光喎，真係。可能我 miss 咗嘢，我翻轉嚟睇一睇先。呢度我想探索晒呢度啲嘢，唔知有冇成就嘅咧？唔通係呢？唔通係呢條路？因為呢條路我覺得怪怪地嘅，點解突然間有條咁嘅路喺度？唔係喎，呢條路係啱啱條路 short cut 啫喎，即係原來啱啱可以呢度快啲過嚟，不過就會 miss 咗側邊個髮夾喎，就唔係木乃伊熊嗰嚿嘢咯。我喺牆後面啊！冇啊，咁我哋快啲行過去啦！啊，唔知點解好似梗係覺得呢個 DLC， 我就咁睇好似有啲應該係短到一集下晒，感覺唔係啲長嘅，即係佢好似應該冇打鬥啊，我去圖書館揾嘢啊嘛，定係一間佢嘅舅父會嚟嘅？突然之間空襲，然後好似聖三一咁有堆軍隊出嚟，咁啊！咁應該幾好笑，應該唔會嘅，頂多都係扮賊咯。如果要講嘅話，係都太誇張啦。如果話要趕走羅拉嘅話
This bust of Anubis was from Dad's Egypt.
你話小時候為咗呢嚿嘢，細個嘅時候為咗呢嚿嘢先至嚟地下室，咁有得唔同嘅？哦。冇裝備，即係我之後仲要翻嚟。你嘅意思係咁我翻嚟執啲咩咧？純粹係啲文件嘢嚟嘅咧。
Plans for adding electricity to the manor. Dad used to say his granny hated all the bright lights.
係喎，爭我第二頁喎。
Amelia left tonight. She packed her suitcase and walked right out of here, and I didn't even notice. Like those days in the Oxford Library before.
即係佢老豆掛住查呢個個神聖資源，先知個墳就冇理到佢老母，因為佢老母走咗啦。但佢老母抌低埋佢個女
ledger has to be in here somewhere. Hopefully it has the combination to the safe.
都好誇張，其實佢阿媽都咁多嘢睇嘅。
It appears Sir Reginald's helmet fell off.
你唔好話個頭盔冧啊！應該話生晒鏽添喎，呢嚿嘢誇張。
This music is familiar. It's beautiful.
呢個解謎嚟，一間先睇。
I always accepted that Richard's rather unorthodox research was just something I had to live with. But this time, the thrill of discovery has taken hold of me. I never imagined I could be drawn in this way. Richard cabled to tell me his...
OK， 總之佢阿媽信佢老豆講嘅嘢， 咁但係佢走嘅時候咧帶唔到羅拉走，所以就交俾工人湊羅拉啦。所以羅拉細個係未見過佢阿媽。
I've created a clever little map for Lara's birthday expedition. I used the invisible ink Amelia picked up for me in Morocco so many years ago. At the time.
用隱形墨水玩解密，俾羅拉玩。
For God's sake, memorize the combination, you fool. Lara's expedition treasure.
Okay, got to find those objects to figure out the combination to the safe. There's something else here.
I've reached the monastery. As Roth predicted, it was hidden deep in the Himalayas. And now that I'm standing on these high stone walls, I am
喺喜
overwhelmed.
馬拉雅山度有
Dad
仙
was
丹，
looking for an elixir. Was it the elixir of
似
life?
盜墓迷城嘅。第3集
This
喎
is my handiwork. I used to love drawing pictures of tigers.
係咪
Spent so many hours in here, reading,
Leave it
dreaming of my
alone.
own adventures.
佢乜話要揾咩羅拉探險啊？唔知邊佢阿媽嘅唔知咩啊？哇！啲鐘聲。
One of Winston's notes. He always hid sweets for me to find.
好，佢工人嘅一個筆記，但係好可惜，我都係講我英文唔好，睇唔明啊。
I remember this now. Each district in ancient Egypt had a symbol and
呢個唔會係解謎啊
Let me
嘛？
see, let me see. These two
this
myths
was always one of my favorite books in this library. I used to trace hieroglyphs.
are referencing the same source material. But where did I see this image?
Dad, I think it's this one, in the chapter on Egyptian districts.
Took quite a tumble off of this old thing when I was a girl. Still feel it in the shoulder from time to time.
上去啦，羅拉。雖然我聽唔到啲咩大道理，但係雖然我聽唔明佢講咩，但係好似又有啲嘢，喂，點解落唔到去嘅？哦，原來係撳住個 W 咁神奇嘅落去，唔係撳住個 S 嘅咩？勁怪啊！呢一個設計，唔理啦。呢個係咪我啱啱播嗰首歌？
Blank, except for the image of a key. I remember this map now. It leads to the master key, but we made it with a special kind of invisible ink. It could only be seen with the heat of a fire.
喺個地圖度收埋哦，40個文獻，25個遺物，你黐咗線啊 DLC。個點嗰度顯示咗有呢一個鎖匙，咁喺邊啊？我理解唔到喎，我理解唔到佢想點喎，依家。一個位好似卡關，我唔知佢想點。誒咩又開到咧
Dad's lighter. I don't remember him ever using it though. The Croft family crest.
？BCR 嘢嘅物品。誒咩突然間開到打火機？
Okay, should be able to light the fireplace now.
啱啱唔俾開，我要睇咗上面嗰個嘢先俾開嘅。哦，咁樣。好啦，呢個係今集冇嘅嘢，火機。上集都有打火石，今集冇。
I can see the map. Looks like the
Hola.
key is hidden under a trunk near the bookcase. X marks the spot, as they say.
我用隱形墨水整嘅，原來收埋喺櫃底度。哦，咁樣啊！但係
The
會真係會唔
master
記得嘅
key.
咩？你之
This
前
should get me in.
你啲咁嘅嘢，我覺得應該煮藥匙啊！我哋應該可以開好
Alright,
多嘢啦。
this should open most rooms in the manor, including the forbidden west wing.
先上咗去先。誒唔係喎，原來 我都要上去嘅，因為我要開上面嗰度門。
The Pharaoh's crown from my birthday treasure hunt. How old was I again? 6, 8?
數字，但係佢自己都唔認得啲數字，將嚟文字數字。
Okay, Dad's clues mention Mum's paintings and their anniversary. Hopefully I can find some answers in the West Wing.
誒，等陣，係啦，你啊唔好以為我唔記得嘅。哦，咁整到成個恐怖 game 咁，你唔可以日頭揾嘅咩呢啲嘢？
Mistress Lara,
揾咗
I took the liberty
50%
of
嘅文
preparing
件
a tray, as dinner did not go according to plans. I've included, in addition to your meal, a few treats. I would appreciate it if you kept this between us.
係嘛？總之温斯頓嘅僕人冇準時整好啲晚餐，羅拉就走咗啦。都嚟到啊！呢個位，喂，喺呢度嚟㗎，原來。哦，依家開咗條 shortcut 路啊！畫室同主卧室揾到剩餘物品。嗱，我哋係有嘢未拎晒嘅，但係咦，我本身呢個位邊度點樣嚟嘅？死啦！我啲失憶添。定係其實係一個冇回頭路嘅路嚟嘅。好暗啊！喂，你有冇開返你心口盞燈？點返個火先啦！好暗啊！即係呢個 DLC 單純咧係俾你睇羅拉嘅過去啊，佢嘅故事，因為隻 game 冇乜點樣講到羅拉一啲好深入嘅故事啊嘛。喺呢個位
I just wanted to see.
We've been through
俾你
this.
睇啦。
Was Mum's room in here?
Just stay out of there, darling.
Dad was always so protective. The Croft family crest. The West Wing.
卡芙特嘅文章呢度啊嘛，應該先有入去。啱啱地下水道嗰嚿嘢，
Worse than I thought.
嗰個箱我啲上開。呢有道門，我應該探咗呢個位先。
Okay, Lara, keep it together. You're starting to see things.
羅拉都驚單機啊，羅拉驚鬼啊，原來都怕黑。
My lord, we all hope your work was well received at the conference and look forward to your return. As is so often the case with these missives, I wanted to call your attention to an incident involving our...
OK， 等啲就係羅拉都
Mum's
俾人話佢
atelier
太
had sealed it soon after she died.
男人，俾
He
人
probably couldn't bear the idea of removing any of her
Right, check.
belongings.
人欺凌。
Untouched for years, exactly as she left it.
畫室
I stood up to my family's criticism, stood in defense of Richard and our love. But as my new life began in Croft Manor, doubt set in. How could love flourish in these cavernous halls and endless passageways? Had I made a terrible mistake?
哦，簡啲嚟講就係羅拉老豆攞啲隱形墨水啊，整嗰啲謎題俾佢老母解，跟住就野餐咯。解完之後就
I
有嘢食
don't
啦。
have any memory of this. I wish I could remember doing this. Mum died.
哦，佢阿媽幅相點解油畫嚟嘅？唔係相嚟嘅。雖然呢個係畫室，
Mum with
但係都
me
唔
as
係
a
咁啊。
baby. I've never seen this. Hard to believe I was ever that small.
都算似羅拉嘅個樣。
Mum's paintings. Which one was Dad's favourite?
咁都叫揾到個秘密。
I returned home this afternoon to collect the last of my paintings.
保險密碼
I
線索
suppose
喎。
I should say I returned to my family's home. Atlas was there, in one of his foul moods, and even as he dripped venom for Richard with his...
Blocks of red. Dad's favorite painting. Maybe something about that painting will help me figure out the combination.
係呢幅我唔係咩？定係仲有啊？
You've almost got it, darling. Here, let me show you. Like this, see? Well done, Laura. Well done.
I wonder how my life would have been different had she lived.
你咁撞鬼法唔怪之因咩啦？4個積木應該係咁解喎。但係羅拉自己會記得嘅咧，我唔確定啦。原來上面有路喎，我本身都睇唔到。
This was for a show in London of Mum's work. What I wouldn't give to see this today. It says here, Emil...
紐約嘅參展作品。
Lara arrived tonight, though not without a bit of drama, but all is well. She's a healthy...
唔知就係話佢啱啱生咗個女，我好開心啊，有女啦咁樣嗰啲嘅嘢啦。咁好啦，咁今集嘅《Rise of Tomb Raider》嘅 DLC 咧，亦都嚟到呢度啦。我哋下條片再繼續解開，其實應該玩咗一半嘅我懷疑。咁我哋下條片就繼續解開呢個保險箱嘅謎題。下條片見，拜拜。